Hi guys, so today I'm doing a book review on 6 books that I've read in April and parts in May, and I'm just going to get right down to it. So the first book I read is I got this at a book sale, and it's a separate piece by Knowles, and this book is a short little read. It has 13 chapters in it, and this is what it looks like. And I really liked this book. I read it in the 9th grade for my English class, and I really liked it because it was so amazing. It was so amazing, you guys. And I am wearing my pajamas, and I'm covered up. So that's why, all you see is my little spaghetti strap things. And plus, it's really hot here. So, yeah. So if you're wondering about that, that's why. So anyway, it's a short read. It only took me 3 days to read this book. And I liked it even better because, when, you read books in school and you really like them, and then later on you get them and you read them, and it's you feel like you get a different message from a book every time you read it, depending on what age you are. Because when you get to certain ages, your perspective on different things changes. So you might see a book differently than one you did when you were 16 or 13 or 19 or whatever. So yeah, it was a really good book. I really liked it because, if anybody ever watched The Dead Poets Society, it's a movie and it had Robin Williams in it. It's sort of like that kind of school, sort of. So if you watch that movie, this book isn't based on that movie. But if you watch those two, it'll give you some indication where the book setting is sort of from. So I highly recommend you read that one. This next one I have is Queen Takes King by Gigi. I don't even know how you say her other two names, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce them. But this book was really okay. It wasn't that great. I got this at a book sale. It was the book sale where you can fill up a whole bag for $20. And this is what it looks like. And it's sort of like a reality chess sort of book where it's sort of like a real life chess match, but it's with characters, with characters. And it's sort of like a conversational book where, you could see this happening to the people that are in this book. You could see it happening in real life. And so, when I say it's conversational, it's sort of like, well, this is what the people would say in that situation in the whole book. So what it is about, I think it's about this rich couple, and they get a divorce because the guy was cheating on her. And then it's sort of this plays out sort of like a chess game, sort of, if you really think about it like that, except it's not really like a chess game. There's 53 chapters in this book, and it was just okay. It really wasn't that great. And it's a really big book, but the chapters in it are really short. Some of the chapters are only 2-3 pages long, and some were 10 pages long. Excuse me, guys. So anyway, yeah, so this one is really okay. I'll show you what it looks like again. It looks like this. And that's what the queen chess piece looks like, if you're wondering. And it was really okay. It wasn't that great. I mean, it's sort of like I said before, it's sort of like conversational, where you can picture this is what people would say in real life. Because, in different books you read, depending on what copyright date it was published by, the conversations in some books you don't seem like they're realistic, if that makes any sense. So next book I have is a Wanda Brunstetter book. I'm obsessed with her books. They're Amish books, and this is a signature collection book. And it has the reason why it's a signature collection is because it has pictures of the place where this book was the setting of, and it has recipes in it. and everything, and it has a bookmarker at the end of the book, and I got this at Walmart. They still have it at Walmart. I don't know how many chapters are in this book. There's a prologue and an epilogue. They all have that. And it has 56 chapters in it. And this book is about a woman who she moved back to the area from where she lived, and this book, she has to decide who she wants to be with. Her mother wants her to be with a widower who has all these boys, and they're really rambunctious and everything, compared to the person that she really likes more, which is a guy who comes from a family of little people. And her mom really doesn't like the little people. I don't know why, but it's in the book somewhere. It's a little story that she tells the person that's trying to court her mother. And so, yeah, and it's really cute because it's something different, because you always think, well, yeah, so it's really cute how she added in how, the guy she really likes is from a little person family, because, little people, they get discriminated so much, and it goes to show you that, this girl, she doesn't care if he comes from a little family or not, because she treats them just as she treats tall people, and everybody is, so nice and everything. It's really good, because, it's different, because, we see TV, how some little people, they get bullied and everything, and it's just, a new, different perspective on how they overcome things, especially in this book. And it's really nice, this book, and she autographs it. She autographs it on the back and the front of the book, too, in a couple of the pages. So this is what it looks like. It was really good. The chapters are really short again. This is what it looks like. It's called Linda's Charm. This is what it looks like. And Charm is the city or the little town / city where it takes place in. And it's a really good book, and I highly recommend you read it, because it's sort of who's she gonna pick? Is she gonna pick the widower, or is she gonna pick the family, the guy the guy whose whole family is little people? You're just gonna have to read it and find out. So the next book I have is a Mystery Reader's Walking Guide England. And this book is sort of hard to explain, but I got this at a book sale, and it really intrigued me because it was different. And I really like England right now. Right now, I'm going in an England sort of phase, with my Paris phase, except this is just England stuff. So I have lots of books, the Queen Takes King book. I thought it was going to be something about, taking place in, England or something, but it really wasn't. It was in New York. So if you see lots of, English type of books or authors, that's probably why. But anyway, this has a lot of different authors in it. A lot of different authors who, wrote this book. But it's in 14 chapters. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to explain it. So it's in 14 chapters. Each chapter is about a major city in England, or one of the major cities in England. And what happens is it goes through, a different sort of, it goes through one city, and it goes through the background of the city first, a little history of it, and then there's a map, and it shows you, different streets and different streets and railroad stations and ponds and lakes and everything else. And what it is, it's a walkthrough. So what happens is you read the background of the city or town, whatever it's about, and then you get into the walkthrough. And what the walkthrough does is it's the map's already there for you in the book, and all you have to do is it just takes you on a walkthrough of the town, based on where different mystery sleuths and mystery authors, and those are like the two prominent ones I remember, but the other ones I haven't heard of before. But anyway, what it does is suppose like there's 5 different stories that come from 5 different authors, where like you read through the the walkthrough, and it tells you, oh, like, turn left on this street and go here, and this is where this story took place, and this is like where, and then it gives you like a little synopsis of what happened at that place in that story and that on that street. So it was really sort of weird, because it was like every paragraph it would go into detail about the books that were written, or not written, but the setting of those books, and you always get confused between the two, and it was really just gave me a headache after a while. The chapters are really long in this book, and of course, like, major cities in this book are going to have more parts to it. Like, Cambridge had like 2 walkthrough parts, and there was one on the Thames River, and it was like 4 different parts. So some chapters are longer than the other ones. So yeah, it took me a while to get through this book. Like I said, there's 14 chapters. They're all really long, and it's really like, I wouldn't like read this book unless like I was actually in England, like on a tourist, or even like an English person in England, because it's not a book where you can just like, oh, like, I'm just gonna read it like a regular book. You have to, like, it's sort of weird, because it's like you're reading, like, it's like the background is like the book part, and then the walkthrough is sort of like a walkthrough of like a map, sort of, if you know what I mean. But if you like those kind of books, or you just want to learn more about it, this book is really old, so I don't know if a lot of the places that they say are in this book are in this book, or are in England anymore. I don't know. But it was really good book. Some parts are really good, some are really not. So it's not like a book you can read like straight through for like a certain number of hours. It's sort of a book where you can only read like maybe 2 chapters at a time, because there's lots of information on each chapter. So depending on, what you like, what you don't in this book, I would say like, I don't know. I would say like it was semi-okay, semi-good. It depends on like what you like. What you like. So the next book I got this at Ollie's, and Ollie's is sort of like a discount store where you can get all these different things. I don't know how to describe it, because I was never in like an Ollie's like forever, only like once or twice ever. So, like, this is a book, and you see me do these other books that were, this book is sort of similar to other books I did, and they're big books, like Ancient Egypt and 100 Wonders of the World, and, they're sort of like that, and I got those at Five Below, but this one's from Ollie's, and Ollie's has all these different books, and it has, like I said, like, all these other different things where you could get it, like, cheaper than, like, a different store. Like, you can get books cheaper there. You can get, like, gardening stuff. You can get umbrellas for your yard or whatever, carpets and everything. Probably you could get all that more cheaper than getting it at, like, a carpet store or Home Goods or something like that. I don't know. But it's 100 scarce places, so it's about holy sites and religious monuments and stuff like that. And there's 6 chapters in this book, 1 for every continent except for Antarctica. So it's like North America, then Central and South America, Asia, Europe, Africa, and then Oceania/Australia. And this was really good, and the photographs in this book were really amazing. But the 2 chapters that took up the most time were Europe and Asia, because in Asia there's so many, like, tons and tons and tons of, like, religious, holy/religious sites and monuments and stuff like that. So it took a while to get through those chapters, but it's really good. This book is really good, and it tells you, like, how much feet and inches and stuff like that. So, like, if you're reading this in, like, Europe, I mean, not Europe, like, European or Asia, where they use different systems than in in the States and in, Canada and wherever else, it, like, transfers it, like, feet, inches, centimeters, meters, square feet, whatever you use over there in Europe and everything else, all that stuff. And, yeah, so it was really, really good. And there's lots of names in this book I can't pronounce, and they don't really have, like, a pronunciation way of saying it. So most of the words that were in this book, like, especially the Asian ones, I really didn't know how to say because they were really long, and I had to try my best, and if I didn't know it, I was like, I don't know how you would say it. I don't know. But, yeah, so they really didn't have, like, any, like, punctuation as to how to say these different landmarks and stuff. But anyway, this book cost $6, and it's really nice. The photos in this are really nice. There's lots of different places in this book that I never thought of before existed, because you never hear a lot about certain things. Like, some of the ones in North America, yeah, and South America I've heard, but the ones like Africa and a lot of the ones in Asia I never heard of before. So it was really nice to see how different it was, and all the photography in this book is really good. So yeah, and they're only like a page long per monument / site. And it gives you, like, a little timeline, like, in the little, italicized stuff, there's a little timeline, it tells you, okay, like, this was built, the place where it was, whatever country it was, this was, the guy founded this, and then war happened, and then they reconstructed it, or whatever, and then it tells you it became a World Heritage Site in whatever year, and everything. So this is what it looks like. It's really big, and it's really heavy, but this is what it looks like. My fingers off of it so you can see the title, but this is what it looks like. It's really nice. It does take a while to get there, especially if, like, you really want to know more about each of these, or you know more about them. I mean, I don't know lots about a lot of these places because I've never been to hardly any of them. So that's probably why I probably don't know how to say most of the words in this book. But yeah. So, yeah, and it's really hard because, you know, like, it goes through, like, a quick, detailed description of things. But I like it. It's really good. I highly recommend you get it. Even if you're, like, writing a paper on something, or you just like reading, like, educational things. But anyway, the next book I have is the last book that I've read, and I finished this today. And it's The Recipe Club by Andrea Israel and Nancy Garfinkel. And it's called The Recipe Club, a novel about food and friendship. And this book is really different compared to most books you might read, and this is what it looks like. I got this at, like, a Wise's at where I live, and it was they just have, like, a little, like, stack of books, and I thought, this seems interesting. I think I got that at Wise's, or I got it at a dollar store. I don't know. It was one of those. But anyway, this book is really good because what happens is it's not in chapters, it's in parts, and there's 3 parts to it. There's 2000s, the 60s to the 70s, 2002, and then 2003. So there's actually 4 parts to it. I'm sorry, you guys. And it's really nice. So there's no chapters in it. So what happens is it's about a friendship, and what it starts out is it starts out in emails. That's the 2000 part. The first part for the 2000s. And it's about how these girls got in contact with each other again, and they were friends, and then they lost their friendship because something happened. And you don't know why. And then it gets into the second part, which is about their childhoods and how they became friends. And then it's like letters. So it's like in the letter format. But then in the 2000 parts, it's an email. But it's about letters, and it's about when they were little girls. Well, not little girls. It was about when they were, like, teenagers, like pre-teenagers to teenagers. And it's about their friendship. And then it gets into the fights that they had and how their friendship deteriorated. But the recipe club is about how they both made a club up where each one of them gave them what recipes to make. And there's a lot, all the recipes are in this book. Like, it tells you exactly how to do them. Like, they're every letter, maybe 2 or 3 letters, there's a recipe from each one. And they're actual and lasagna and all these different Italian and English foods and recipes I never heard of before. So it's a really good book, and it's really good. And then at the end, it's going to tell you if their friendship is back together, or if it's not. It's a really good book, and it's really different because it's in like a letter/email format. So it's really different. So I finished this book. I finished this book in like 4 days, you guys. It's not that hard to get through this book. There's only like 300 plus pages in this book. And it's a really nice book. It's a really good book to read, and it was really, really nice, and I liked it. It was really good. I loved it. I can't praise this book enough. It was really good. And it's like, it's literally an inspirational book, because it's like about friendship, and it's about how like true friendships can always go through rough patches, but in the end, you always have your friends with you. No matter who they are, you always have your friends with you. So that's all my books I've read, all the 6 books I've read. So comment below and tell me your favorite books for the month of April/May. Recommend me any books in the down bar /comments. Please subscribe. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time with another video.